All right, theater lovers and Shakespeare nerds, this episode is for you. I'm so excited because we're diving into one of LA's most magical summer traditions, Shakespeare in Griffith Park. And joining me today is someone who makes that magic happen, Melissa Chalsma, the artistic director and co-founder of Independent Shakespeare Company, aka Indie Shake. And if you're cool like me, that's what we call it. We call it Indie Shakes. Melissa and her team have turned free outdoor theater into an LA summertime staple, drawing thousands of Angelenos to the lawn with blankets, snacks, and a love for the bard. Hi, Melissa.
Hi there, Heather. So nice to talk to you.
You too. Okay, as I said, this is one of our family's favorite traditions every summer, and it's such a uniquely LA thing to do. Go to Griffith Park, watch live outdoor, not just theater, but Shakespeare. Let's talk about what is new this season, what shows you're going to be performing, and what people can expect.
Yes, and I love that you say that it's a family tradition. I think that's one of the things that so many of our ensemble members and team love is having watched kids grow up. It's just sort of shocking sometimes to think, wait, I've known this kid since they were 5, and then they're coming back and I'm going to college and I'm studying English, Shakespeare literature because of coming every summer and whatever. It's just such a really interesting way to mark time. And also, it's just so lovely to see families come year upon year. So thank you for mentioning that it was your family one of your family
Sure,
traditions. This
absolutely.
yeah, this summer is going to be a little bit different. There's been a really long in progress project to build a permanent stage in Griffith Park, and the construction has actually begun. So there's where we normally perform is a fence, and if you look over the fence, there's a big hole in the ground, and there's a lot of work happening there in the park. So we're just over the hill, still in the same venue location, and it's this kind of little magical dell area, and the audience is around all sides of the stage. So it's really sweet and special, and there's lights in the trees, and it feels very kind of cozy and intimate. So I think it's a really nice, especially nice evening. Even when it's hot, that area is very, very shady. So it's just a really pleasant place to be in the park. And we're doing Love Slavers Lost, which is not so often performed, very delightful kind of romantic comedy. And we're doing it kind of in a Bridgerton feeling style of that era, that sort of Regency era. And the costumes are crazy good this year. There's Gary Lennon, our costume designer, has done an amazing job. Everybody looks really stunning. So we're doing Love Labor's Lost. And then for their second show this season, or coming up in August, we're actually doing a Christopher Marlowe play, which is a Shakespeare contemporary. And we're doing Dr. Faustus, which is about a man who sells his soul to the devil and then comes to realize that that's maybe not the best choice to make, which seems like a timely lesson for all of us about what happens when you make deals with devils.
That's right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your passion and you and your husband. This is a project you guys work on together. This is an organization you run together.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about your passion for Shakespeare and the connection you have with performing in an open venue like this. Why is this something important to you?
That's a great question. I think for me, it's the real key piece of it, I think, is that it's free. And so that I know that people who maybe didn't grow up coming to the theater, it's a lot easier to take a risk like that if it's free, because a lot of theater tickets now, understandably, because of the cost of producing theater, are very, very high.
Very expensive,
And
yeah.
so many theaters really struggle with how do we get people in who maybe, are nervous about coming or don't want to spend that or can't spend that, right? And I always feel like, LA is a city of millions and millions of people who just don't know how much they love theater yet. And so for me, part of it is that it's free, and that we know from our surveys and talking to audience members that there are people who really didn't think of themselves as Shakespeare lovers who come and sort of find themselves in the plays and find that experience really rewarding. And I have always found Shakespeare extremely rewarding. So when I get that opportunity to share that with people and have them discover their own love of language, their own love of this kind of really rich, fun, body intelligent works that Shakespeare wrote, I think it is a really precious gift to be able to give to people. So I think that's why the freeness of it is really the crucial aspect for me. And then outdoors is just, it's a different performing outside. It's much more it's less contained, it's a little more chaotic, it's a little more unpredictable, and all of those things I think make the productions really fun.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you guys really do make such great use of that space. We
Mm,
every year we go, we're curious to see where the entrances are going to be, who's going to be interacting in the crowd
yeah.
from coming from, the back of the house, so to speak. And it's really fun to watch how you guys challenge yourself every year to play with that space, the physical space of Griffith Park.
Yeah.
Um, and one thing I think it's important to mention too is that everything you guys do is donation based. Is that
Hmm.
correct?
That's right. Yes. Everything is yeah, it is donation based. Um, we fundraise basically all year and we try to get support from foundations and government support, but individual donations are always have been the biggest, by far the biggest part of what we get. I think a lot of people kind of make the assumption, I think, because we have Hollywood here in LA and California is this creative capital or really creative state, um, that there's a lot of arts funding in California, and that's just actually never been true. And I think a lot of people now are thinking, have heard about the NEA and all the issues with the National Endowment for the Arts. But people are less aware of is those cuts happened in California at the state level, the county level, the city level, and the neighborhood level. So like there is much less arts funding now this year than ever before. And it's even so that we really are relying on those individual donations. And we're so grateful to the people that value that work and value that proposition of Angelenos having a place to come together and enjoy live theater together, and the people that feel that they're able to support that, we're really, really, we couldn't do it without that partnership for sure.
So when people come to see the shows, they can donate, drop a little $5 in the buckets or $20 or whatever, or they can go online and
50,
donate as well. 50,
500, 5,000, whatever they're comfortable with.
whatever
Yeah,
you're comfortable with.
yeah. Yeah, so we have lots of, I think fun ways of we try to make it fun to donate. We try to make it like a little bit, part of the show sometimes as well. And what's really helpful too to us this year is you can go to our website, and when you RSVP that you're coming that night, it's helpful for us to sort of plan ahead how many people are there. You also get parking maps and you get information that's helpful, and also that opportunity to donate. So you can even do it before the show as well if you RSVP. But yeah, you can also come up after the show. The actors have buckets, and you can put some money in the bucket or scan a QR code and get a chance to talk to the actors. We really love to meet our audience. That's one of the things I know a lot of our performers really value is that, a lot of times in theater, you don't know who's out there. And like you said, in Griffith Park, you really know who's out there. Like
Yeah.
they're really part of the show. So we love being able to thank them afterwards for being part of the night.
One of the things we started off this conversation with was talking about the generations of people who are
Mhm.
attending this show. And I would like for you to speak to a little bit to the generations of people who may be finding a love for Shakespeare and for theater, because it seems like in the world of video games and my own kid, I'm guilty of this myself. My own kid plays a lot of video games, and
Yeah.
she is also a theater kid though. But trying to appeal to your kids and show them different types of mediums and that sort of thing to keep that love of Shakespeare alive, because it's Shakespeare is not an easy concept to grasp for some people. It's written in a very specific style, and a lot of people think maybe it's too bougie or elevated. And
Mhm.
how do you keep it grounded, and how do you find ways to appeal to these generations of kids in order to continue to foster that love of theater and Shakespeare?
Yeah. That's funny. I do think that's true that people have sort of a sense that Shakespeare is bougie, but Shakespeare as a person was not remotely a bougie person. I mean, he was, the son of a glove maker. He was, and I think the plays are really written in a way that he was very deliberate, right? He called his theater the Globe. And he did that because in his mind, it was this place where everyone could be, and his plays have a lot of really the kind of comedy that, and Love Slavers Lost actually is full of the most obscene double entendres, I think, in all of Shakespeare. I don't think young children, it's fine. They're not going to get it. Like don't be afraid, parents. It's nothing physically graphic. Well, no, not too much.
You're like, well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. There's that one. No, it's very PG-13, and young children aren't good. None of it's going to, it's not obscene in any way. But I do think that that is one of the things we try to do is perform the plays in a way where all of that liveliness and vitality is on display so that it doesn't feel removed or doesn't feel intellectual. It is sometimes intellectual, but it's that there's all of that kind of human element. And I think that's really helpful. We try to make our shows really, really physical and really physically expressive in a way that helps the language kind of enter into your consciousness in a different way, where you're also kind of able to not worry so much about every individual word, but understanding the flow of a scene, the intentions of the characters. And we work really hard in rehearsal on making the language clear. That's the biggest focus for us is, we really look at the verse structure of the play. We really look at how to express the words in a way where the language is clear, because, anyone really can understand Shakespeare. It just requires a little work on both sides, maybe, in that sense. And we try to encourage the audience to really listen. And we try to stage plays in such a way that the audience sort of understands that their imagination really matters, that they have a big part to play in that. We want them to be part of it. We want them to engage with their whole selves. So I think that's part of it, is we think about all of those things and we really try to embody that. And I do think children really respond to it actually super, super well. A lot of parents have said they were really surprised how much their kids liked it. That their kids wanted to stay. They thought they'd have to leave at intermission, but the kids were like, no, we want to stay. And we were doing our dress rehearsal last night, and one of the actors' little daughters was there, and there was kind of a surprise moment, and after the show, I don't want to no spoilers, but she was like, she commented on that moment in a way that was so, she really got what was happening, and it was like very interesting. She's maybe 7 or 8 years old, and it was
kids are
so
a lot smarter
cool
than we
see.
give them credit for.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I think that's very true. So I think all of those things together and all the humor we add is that the students, all the humor we bring out, I should say, not that we add.
Plus, they get to stay up late at night in the park, and there's something kind of thrilling about doing that as well. 100%. I love that. Okay,
and some people bring their kids. Some people can bring their kids in pajamas, so just in case their kids fall asleep, little ones, that they can stay, and so it's a little bit of a camp out.
Well, maybe I'll come in my pajamas then. That's a good idea.
I think I support that. That's what we should. We should do pajama
night. There we go.
Perfect. Okay, you heard it here first. We're going to do pajama night.
I love it. Okay, remind everybody the dates of the shows again. Really
wonderful.
Quick.
Yes. So Love Slavers Lost begins tonight, and then that's going to run to June 27th. And then we have a week where there's no performances. And then August 5th, Dr. Faustus begins and runs through Labor Day weekend. And we would love to see everybody there. It's free. It's outdoors. It's magical, as you said, Heather. I think it's absolutely magical as well.
The Griffith Park Free Shakespeare Festival is happening right now, and you don't want to miss it. Thanks so much for listening to Entertain Me. I'm Heather Brooker. You can follow me on Instagram at The Heather Brooker and Facebook at The Heather Brooker, or everywhere else on social media at Heather Brooker. Please take a minute to subscribe to Entertain Me and share it with some friends. You can listen anywhere, anytime on the iHeartRadio app.